You want to open it up or you want me to?
Start us off.
All right. Well, welcome to the Unwavering Truth podcast, everyone. This is our first episode. My name is Sam Gavand. I am a part of Unwavering Truth, one of the founders here. I'm with Gavin Gillen here. He's a co-founder. And we're excited to get into our first longer form episode. It's interesting just doing clips where we don't really get to share the full context with you guys. And I feel like there's not a lot of substance a lot of times. So I'm excited to be able to have a longer conversation. We're going to try to share a little bit about our movement. We're going to share a little bit about ourselves, introduce ourselves a little bit, because most of you probably don't really know who we are, we realized. And then we'll talk a little bit about current events and things going on in our world today and our opinions on them. So with that, I guess I'll ask you the question, who are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Good question. Well, my name is Gavin Gillen. I'm 23 years old. I am a non-college student. Right out of high school, just got right into the workforce, into construction and landscaping. Never really bought into the college stuff. I tried trades. I built some houses. I did sheetrocking. Had a few slip-ups by accidentally stabbing myself, but...
You've always had a tendency to injure yourself.
Yeah, but I always make it through. I always push through, and it doesn't always slow me down, but it does some damage, though. Definitely have some injuries that'll last quite a while. But
What's your journey with the Lord looked like throughout your life?
Man, it's been all starting off with a rocky childhood too. Having a really hard home to grow up into. It's been tough. My parents were fighting a lot of separation where we were living in different houses, different apartments. Mm-hmm. So definitely not your ideal childhood for any of the kids, because me and my siblings, when you go through that, it totally traumatizes you and puts you in a bad start. You have a bad start to the race, so to speak, to life, and it sets you back. And but how we've come out of it has been really good.
Yeah.
And we're all doing really good in life. We're successful. We're happy. My two older siblings are now married and are parents. It's awesome to see. And I'm not at that level yet. I haven't, still on my own journey, my own walk. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, whatever happens with the Lord and Him providing a future wife for me, that's in the future. So
yeah. I guess just a little bit about me. I did do the college thing. I did not have to spend money on it, though. Thankfully, I have worked at Target for the past few years, and they paid for my school, so that was nice. I did get a business degree. I got my bachelor's degree, and then outside of that, I do digital marketing. I still work at Target part-time. And my walk with the Lord is, or how I grew up is a little bit different than Gavin, and my walk with the Lord has been a little bit different. I had a pretty stable house growing up. My parents are still together, happy marriage, and I had that my whole life. I grew up a believer, grew up a Christian, and had a loving family. I've got 3 siblings, and I can't complain. I've had, honestly, a great life, been blessed by the Lord in many ways, and really never would have seen myself getting out onto a college campus and debating students.
Oh yeah, that's always been a shocker.
I think a few years ago, if you'd have told me I'd have been doing that, I just would have, told you you're crazy, because I have never been an outgoing person. I was kind of shy when I was younger, really, and I learned how to be social and how to talk to people, but inside I still definitely was that shy kid, and still kind of am. It takes me a little bit to get out of my shell, and it's not like I'm socially awkward or anything, or at least I hope I'm not, but it's still that inner introvert, I feel like, and haven't always been the biggest people person. So really getting myself out of that comfort zone, and talking to college students, not something I would have expected, but you know, the root of that, which I think our first ever Instagram video, we kind of outlined it, but the root of that is Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that really struck both of us, and really sparked the start of our movement, and it kind of, I don't know, we both had the same impression, and I think it was from the Lord. I don't know what you think, if you think it was from God, but I think that He was impressing on us, hey, like, take a step out, be bold, and many are doing that. And I think that what the enemy meant for evil with this assassination of a good man, a good Christian man, the Lord is using it for good.
Yeah.
And I think we both had that impression, and we wanted to be a part of that. And there was grief there for a few days, but in that we were really emboldened in a way. I guess what was your initial thoughts after the assassination, and then what kind of sparked that? I want to get out there and do what Charlie did
Yeah, I
for
mean,
you.
it's been a crazy journey since. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has emotions from Charlie. If it's been good, it's been bad. A lot of people have been rejoicing, and some people have been sad, and I
Yeah.
was on the side of being more sad, and just just how tragic it is that our country is yet going through another, political and just another political assassination. But finding out the day of, and I still remember on the job site what happened, and it shook me. It totally ruined my day. It ruined my work for that day. Like, I just couldn't focus because I was like, wow, I can't believe he's dead. I just, the thought of someone that I always watched every night before I went to sleep, I always watched his previous day's videos on YouTube and on Instagram and Twitter, all of his turning point stuff. And so it was my daily thing. That's what I did. Been watching him before COVID. I mean, so it's weird because like a lot of people have said online is that it feels like you lost a friend, even though the guy never even knew I existed, and I didn't know him personally.
Yeah.
But it all felt like we lost a friend. I know that you've said that too when what you experienced. But I think that totally burned something in me, and that I prayed about it, and the Lord, literally the day after or 2 days later, after his assassination, I was like, okay, what's our step forward? It's not about, turning every heart for Republicans or conservative. It's not to move it all on this side. It's to bring people to the realization of where we're at as America, what's really going on, why are we at conflict as Christian, non-Christian, Democrat versus Republican. Where's our middle ground? Where can we meet? And also, how can we see eye to eye? But it's also just to win people over for Jesus. I mean, so it's really it's trying to balance it all out. It's going to be interesting for us too moving forward in the future of how we can
Yeah.
grow, how we can do more outreach with our movement. But I think where we're at right now is doing good, and I think we've been doing super well, and we've reached a lot of people. I mean, we've had videos do super well, especially 2 of them now, which has been a total
Yeah.
blessing through God. And yeah, I mean, how he's just blessed us and just giving that word, that desire in us. Because I remember I called you and texted you, that following week. I said, Sam, we have to do something. And you said, yeah, absolutely, we got to do it. Like, we have to be a voice, and it's not being a voice for Republican. It's just being a voice for truth. Hence our, our movement's name.
Yeah.
But it's also just being a voice for Jesus, and Jesus is truth. He says that clearly in the gospel. So, when I ask you, like, how was your first, after, that first initial day of feeling sad and just like a little angry, because I was too. But what was your realization after, a couple days later? Like, what was your thought process? How can we attack this and move forward?
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, you mentioned the grief and then the anger. That's an interesting one, because I feel like that's exactly what I felt like. I kind of went through a stage. I had some anger for sure. I was like, gosh, like, how could this happen? This guy was just, first of all, sharing the truth,
Yeah.
and he was speaking his opinion, and he got shot for that, and that, to me, unacceptable. This is America. We're about free speech, and that is completely the opposite of free speech. And so I kind of pondered that for a few days, and like I said, had that same spark, and was totally on board whenever you texted me, and that's when we were like, well, let's go to Walmart and grab our poster boards and Sharpies, and we made our signs, and then we went out that first day. Our first topic was abortion, and
That's right.
first interaction ever. We're never gonna forget it.
We will never forget our first interaction
No,
ever.
nope. A gentleman, if he could be called that, came up to us and basically was just irate from the beginning, and started yelling different things at us, and started calling us rapists in the street. And there's all these people, of course, going by, and he's just like, "You guys are rapists. You guys are rapists." I was like, "Wow! Like, this is what this is. This is what we're getting ourselves into."
That's right.
And thankfully, since then, not every interaction has been like that. You
Yeah.
know, and it's been
Had a lot of negative,
better.
but we've had a lot of positive. You know, it's
Yeah,
the more that we've been doing, it's been more balanced out because I feel like when we first did start, though, we had way more hate.
yeah,
Let's just say like the first 5 or 6 times, we had way more hate. And
yeah.
now that we've been past that point, and now up until where we are in December, we've had more positive. You know, more outreach, more people. But with that, we've been having a lot more crazies. So the people that do come up to us and either threaten us or come up with a weird argument or just simply to say, hey, I hope you guys go to hell. Like, people just say that to us. Or, you know, we've had quite a few kill yourselves. I hope you guys die. You know, we've had a lot of that, actually.
Yeah, lots of people just speaking death over us, and
Absolutely.
it's not just material. There's a spiritual aspect to it when you go down there. And just
Absolutely.
for those who don't know, I mean, we're in Minnesota, so we go down to the U of M, and I mean, there's a spiritual battle going down
Totally
there. I
is.
don't know. I mean, it sounds like you've felt the same thing,
Yeah.
but you can feel it when you go down there and you hear these things. And one of our videos that blew up, actually, I don't know that it's a spiritual thing, but I mean, interestingly, a lot of the comments were saying, "Oh my gosh, like, this girl's possessed. She's demonic." And I don't know how much I buy into that, but there's
Which one
some.
is it that
It's the one that has 1 million views, actually,
that one? Okay. Yeah.
and it's this video. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the one where, yeah,
She came up and in a way, on play on words, she threatened you, but it was a
yeah,
sarcastic not threat. I mean, obviously,
yeah, it was odd.
we wouldn't have been like, we feel so endangered, we gotta go to the police. That's not what we did.
No,
And
I
it
didn't
was,
feel.
yeah, it's,
I didn't feel like
yeah,
threatened like that.
yeah,
It was odd, but there's some truth to what my point there. I guess is there's some truth to what people are saying in that
yeah.
when you go down there, you do experience some of that spiritual warfare. Yeah, I don't know what have you felt like in that way you've experienced it? Where have you seen some of that like spiritual
Yeah,
side of things? You
I
feel like
mean, not only have some of the people that have come up to us with their demeanor, how they act, you know, we try to interact with them as good as we can. And we're always respectful and trying to come in a loving way. And I mean, anybody can watch our videos. We're not raising our voices, we're not calling them names, and we're not really pushing back a whole lot. There's been times where we've been like, okay, like, what the heck's going on? Like, we need to bring it back, or what you said was actually crazy, because it was. But with the demonic spirit side, especially that first video that did blow up with that girl saying how her mom was a doctor and one of the best. I always laugh at that video because, you know, she's saying her mom's a Christian, and, you know, I was Christian, and, like, this is how we were raised. I'm like, and that's the demonic spirit talking through them, because that's the false prophecy of what we read throughout the whole New Testament, especially. It's these people that call themselves Christians but aren't actually Christians. You know, if you are going to be a Christian, we're totally not going to be perfect. Everyone knows that. Every church says that. You're not going to be perfect, whatever. So of course, Christians, we have to be as good as we can, and we're always going to fall short, which we do because we all fall short of the glory of God. Um, but you can tell in our demeanor and our spirit of what we're saying, of what makes sense and what aligns with the Bible. What she was saying was not aligning at all with the Bible or what Jesus was even preaching about.
Mm.
So then she goes, "Yeah, it's Christian," and then that's where I was saying, and which wasn't caught on video, but I told her to her face that you are not a Christian, like you are a fake Christian. And when she heard that, you could see when you were there too, her expression changed. She looked furious. And that's
Mm.
that demonic spirit coming out of like, man, like how dare you almost blaspheme that in that way. But it was the truth. Like when you preach about that much hate and killing and are so fine with abortion and so fine with people mutilating their kids and becoming a different gender and all of this stuff, and you come guns a blazing towards us too,
Mhm.
like that's not the Christian way at all.
No.
Like you did the opposite of what Jesus wants us to do. You're doing the opposite of what the Bible is really preaching and wanting us to do as Christians.
Which actually kind of, I mean, you mentioning how you mentioned to her that,
Mm.
hey, like, reevaluate what Christianity is to you. And
Yeah,
I think that that's
absolutely.
actually what you said. But because of what she was saying and how it totally doesn't align with biblical principles.
No.
But it kind of reminded me of, the DM we got
Yeah,
where,
the one I had to keep answering to.
because there was a girl, I actually didn't really, I
Did
kind
you
of
read
let you,
it?
I kind of let you just answer that one.
Yeah, so
But
man.
there was a girl, I mean, if you want to share like kind of what she said, and we've gotten some interesting DMs. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, hey, I'll bring it up right here quick.
yeah. I mean, if you want to share kind of what her message was and what her whole thing was, because she kind
Yeah.
of accused us, if I remember, she kind of accused
She
us
did. She
of,
accused us as, being fake Christians and all that goes with it. I will keep her name nameless,
yeah.
but she came up and she was saying, "Hey, I came across your videos and feel compelled to send you a message that I hope you guys burn in hell for what you are preaching." And this is how she's coming off too. And then she goes, "You guys look down on women," and it's funny enough how we want to protect the people that these women are growing this child in them, and actual true women's healthcare, and yet it's looked down upon because we want the goodness of that. But it's funny how she does that. But she was saying, I think it's important that there are normal everyday people, true, living good and productive lives as members of society all across, that are generally affected by the message that we spread. So she was also claiming that what we are saying, our signs, is
Yeah.
affecting everyday people's lives.
I hope people are affected in a
Yeah, I
good
hope
way.
in a good way. But she was saying like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are like making every student there depressed." And then she goes, "One day I hope you realize that your hate that you are spreading is not actually supported by Christianity's and their true fundamentals." And I was like, okay. And then she said, "Jesus would be really disappointed to see you stray from his teachings of love and compassion." And then this is what she ended with: "Otherwise, enjoy hell, kiss, kiss." Which is like,
Can I mean, that's great. If we can, I'll ask you in a second because you did respond, I think, right?
oh, I
But
responded many
but
times, yeah.
I think there's a huge misconception there.
Mm-hmm.
She says you're not showing love and affection, or what does she say? You're not showing
You're not
love,
showing love and
compassion,
compassion. Yeah.
love and compassion, and there's like a huge misconception in the church today, more so in the woke church,
Yeah.
that love is affirmation.
Is affirming everything that they do,
And
which
no,
Jesus is like,
no,
"No, I'm going to love you no matter
yeah,
what, but I don't love the things you do."
mm-hmm,
That's why that famous saying is, "Love the sinner, but don't love the sin." The
mm-hmm,
sinner is us people, me and you, Sam and Gavin, but Jesus is not going to love the stuff we're doing. If you're helping people out generally and like helping them with groceries or paying stuff or just being a kind person, opening a door, that's the
mm-hmm.
actions that Jesus is going to love. But if we're even swearing at other people, Jesus doesn't love that action because that's hate in our heart. That if we're swearing at other people, and that's
Yeah,
even a low like example. But like her even saying, "Hey, I'm damning you guys to hell. Enjoy hell," and then she ends with a kiss hug, which is so like sarcastic in her way. But And she's also claiming to be a Christian too, of what her next text messages were. So then I said, we deny all your curses and hate in Jesus' name. And then I had to end with, God bless you. I hope you really find Jesus. And then she's like, God does bless me. And this is where this next part really got me and
it
you, because this was the most
you
demonic
did
thing
tell
she
me about
said.
this. Yeah.
Because it really shook me. And I was actually disturbed by it. It was really gross. But she goes, God does bless me, but I fear God does not bless you. And that's not something you can fix by sending a message of denial in my DMs, which I just glossed over. And then she goes, you know who else blesses me? Each of my beautiful female friends, and God blesses all the babies that we have aborted. I was like, that's so demonic. When you
That's
talk about the demonic,
disgusting.
that's a disgusting thing that she's saying, that these babies, that her, if she has had one, and her female friends are aborting all of these babies, and God blesses it. God is blessing murder. Innocent bloodshed, which we know God really hates. It's one of the things he really hates is innocent bloodshed, especially over children, which is the most innocent form we can be as humans, is children. When then I, of course, said that's demonic and messed up. You're not even worth the time to think over right now. I hope you really let Jesus into your heart. I can't believe you said that last part. And then she just goes off again. You need to let Jesus into your heart. He misses you. This is what you could be if you just let Jesus into your heart. Otherwise, you have hatred poison in your heart. And then I said, I don't have hate in my heart. And this is coming from a person who just damned us to hell. So then I said, why are you telling me what love and hate is when all I'm coming at you with is loving messages and you're coming with the opposite? So I said, who's the true Christian? Who has the real hate in their heart? And she was silent after that. She read it, but she was silent.
Yeah.
And so that was probably top 2 of the most progressive stuff that we've gotten via text messages. I know we also got that one, which I don't know if you responded to the shot in the neck, or did
Oh,
you just
I
delete
saw that.
one?
I didn't respond to
Yeah,
that.
I didn't
No,
want to. Yeah.
I don't think there's any.
I mean, that's not a
mean,
true. I mean, it could be a threat. I know
what did they
some.
say? They were like,
Yeah.
watch your neck or something.
Yeah, they said watch your neck.
Watch
There
your
could be
neck.
like a bullet in it or something. Which
It's like
is
don't even respond at that point.
it's
I mean,
really not the greatest thing to say, but
I
I
think we're
mean,
gonna get a lot of that.
we're not gonna take it to the police. We're not gonna be like. I mean, we moving forward are probably gonna be a little bit more watchful and more careful.
Yeah.
I think we have to now with these kind of stuff coming up, and it's not like we're celebrity big stars and everyone's coming after us. No.
No.
But it's just, it doesn't matter who you are, how famous you are. If you're a Christian and you're speaking God's truth and love, the enemy is going to go after you no matter what, with anything.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned something there that was interesting that I think it'd be cool to go into. You said, we're not celebrities or anything, and that's exactly right. And that's part of our movement. Like, we're trying to show people we're not really anyone special.
Yeah.
But we just
2 average Midwestern guys.
said, hey, like, if we're saying, oh, we need more people to go out, we need more people to be bold in their faith and share the truth with people. We need to change America. Who are we if we don't get out there and do it ourselves?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that's where we stepped into that, and we're nobody special.
Yeah.
We didn't we didn't do any official debating in our younger years or anything. No one's special, and we're like, hey, let's get out there and speak the truth to people, and we have strong convictions because of our faith in Jesus.
Absolutely.
And the main thing is getting rid of that fear of man and being unafraid to share that. I feel like it's so hard for us to get over the fear of man.
It is. I mean, kind of what you said, that first part about, it doesn't take a really special person. I mean, you have to have the right maybe attributes and personality to really be preaching right, because people have to relate and understand you. So not everybody can do it, but everybody can at least accept and acknowledge and have a conversation with. Charlie said it best. If you're gonna talk the talk And if you're going to talk about Christianity, Christians need to do better. And I remember he said this in his podcast. He goes, if you don't actually do it yourself or even tell anybody to do it, he goes,
Mm-hmm.
that silent is consent. Like you were consenting to it. Being
Yeah.
silent is consent. If you're not speaking up, and if you are speaking up but not doing a dang thing about it,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't actually care about it. It's like it's the classic thing of like, if it's important to you, you're gonna make time. You're gonna find time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we just keep saying on comments on Instagram or whatever social media account, hey, like, oh man, we need to turn back the clock. We need to find a middle ground between Democrat and Republican, Christian, non-Christian. Like, we need violence to end. But what are we actually doing to, what's our part in that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just saying that and then just going back to making pancakes? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Are you actively trying to preach? Are you actually getting out there in communities and trying to make an impact and trying to reach out to people? You don't maybe have to be a sidewalk preacher like you're seeing a lot nowadays, but at least trying to make an impact and telling the truth and being there for people.
Maybe we do need more Christians doing that, though, door knocking. Like, we got to get more Christians instead
We
of the
gotta do something.
Instead of the Jehovah's Witnesses coming to the doors.
I know
we gotta
they're beating
get,
us to it.
I know
I
we
mean,
gotta get the Christians out
they're
there
doing so
knocking
much
doors.
more. I mean, they're not make the biggest impact,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah, but for sure.
we gotta do more as Christians.
For sure.
You
And
know?
that's what we want to preach to people too, like whatever it is God is calling them to.
Yeah.
Because like this is what we're doing. We're going out and speaking to people on campuses
Yeah.
and kind of picking up a similar thing to what Charlie did. But everyone's calling is different. Every Christian is called to walk in the path that God sets for them. And it's going to look different. It depends where you're at. Not everyone is going to go on a public forum or a public space and talk to people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I feel like wherever you are in your day-to-day, you're at the gym, you're at the restaurant. When you see an opportunity to talk to someone about Jesus, it's like, seize that. As a Christian, don't let those pass you by. Try to take as many souls with you as you can to heaven. And that should be our goal here on this earth, to serve God, to carry out his purposes on earth, to honor him, and to share the gospel with people.
Yeah. I got a question for you. What else do you think as Christians could we be better on? Like, what do we actually need to work on here as Christians in America?
Christians in America, what do we need to work on? I think we need to work on, if you're talking about the church as a whole in America,
We definitely need to work on the church.
not giving in
Yeah.
to the culture,
Yeah.
not giving them steps, because there's biblical truth that we're called to stand on as Christians. And because the culture is pushing something different, we're not supposed to give into that. We should not be giving into that. We shouldn't give them any steps. Like, there's so many churches out there I see. You'll drive by and they've got a pro-LGBTQ sign outside their church during Pride Month.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did the church go wrong? They started giving things up to the culture to conform to it, to appear more accepting.
Well, yeah, it's also like what we're hearing across from a lot of pastors right now in America is that they are affirming more and more and more, so that their congregation, aka the people, are, the numbers are either rising or being at least consistent in their church, versus what a good church actually should be, which I love our church about, at least in this tense, is that it's like, if you were to ask these pastors, and not even the mega ones, but if you're like, hey, would you rather have 1,000 people going to your church, or would you rather have 200 and that community, that congregation is actually faith strong and super strong? And a lot of them would be like, yeah, we want 1,000 people because it's more people. It's like, well, are they actually Christians? Like, first of all, are you even leading them correctly? How many of them are doing good works, acts? Are they reading their Bible correctly? What are you teaching them? Or is it just about numbers for you? And then the money they bring in, it's like, versus an actual good, smaller church, Bible-believing church, which is what every church should be. And those 200 people are actually saved by Jesus and are actually preaching and following his ways. which church is God gonna bless more, and which church is gonna actually be like a real church?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one that's following God and one that's actually
Yeah.
Christians, followers of Christ. And that's where we're failing as American
Mm-hmm.
church. The American church is a laughing stock. It is. If people were to look, because we're the most Christian country, right? It's always talked
Mm-hmm.
about we're the most Christian country. And if other countries outside looking in on us, if they look at our church and they didn't know better, it's like, wow, is this really what the Bible preaches? Like, these churches it seems more about prosperity gospel, or it must be like more about pride than they are about
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. What kind of love are they teaching? And that's where we're going wrong as the church.
Yeah.
In every
I
state,
agree.
all across our nation. And we are getting
Yeah.
away from the true teachings of what the gospel
Mm-hmm.
really wants us to do.
Mm-hmm. 100% agree. I think that every church needs to stay grounded on the truths of the gospel and
Yeah.
biblical truth. That should be the foundation. When you hear a message at church and you hear maybe a verse or two mentioned throughout the message, that's a red flag right there. When you
Yeah.
barely hear any references to the actual word of God, which is what all of our teachings should be based on. And when you don't hear that, that's a red flag right there. And I think a lot of churches, that's where you're at. Like, it is almost more of like a motivational speech type of thing, or a prosperity gospel, like you said.
Yeah, it's
But we need to there's two parts to love, grace and truth. I think we need more of the truth
absolutely,
aspect.
yeah.
I think we need to improve on that as
Because grace
Christians.
it'll follow behind the truth. It comes with it.
Yeah, I think we need to bring that back. And
We had a one person, Diego, that we were talking with.
Diego.
And he did say something. He said it's good to at least have a lot of denominations, because and I was like, is it not, like? And I was like really thinking, like, well, then but what are the denominations actually doing?
Was that the atheist guy? The Diego guy?
Well, 'cause remember, we ran into two Diegos.
Oh, yeah. This is a different Diego.
And so
Gosh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah, but he brought at least that point, and then I also asked him, like, hey, it really does depend on the denominations, and one is not better than the other, because the sole purpose should just be Christ. It should just be Jesus.
Amen.
And so but it's like, if you really look at it, like, their churches are at war with each other. Catholics don't like Baptists. Baptists don't like Lutherans. Lutherans don't like Catholics. Protestants, Presbyterians, Methodists, a lot of them don't like each other.
That's a big
And if you
problem.
if you marry into each other, like, hey, my family's Catholic and my family's Methodist, and then it's like, holy crap, their families are at war, all because you're a Catholic, you're a Methodist, or you're Assemblies of God, or you're non-denomination. I don't know about that, because you guys are more of a concert worship set. It's like, where did we go wrong? What happened? What happened to one church? And
Yeah.
the church is not a place. It's the
Not a
people.
place.
The Bible is clear on that. The church was never about, the place. You can have church anywhere, outside, inside. You could have church in a bathroom. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's not an establishment either.
No,
Yeah.
it's nice that we do have a place to go to worship the Lord. So that is nice. But it's always been about the people, and that's what our focus should be on, and we should get back to, is that it should be one church. Because
Body of Christ, baby.
the body of Christ. Because if you really think about it, like, is God looking down right now and disappointed on us on how we have been treating his church, that we are so split that we got legit in this country 40 different denominations? Do you
Yeah.
think he's like, guys, I made it so simple for you. I literally gave you a whole book,
Yeah.
verse by verse, chapter by chapter, of what to go on, how to live your life. You're not going to be perfect, but here is your guidebook.
Yeah.
And you guys can't even follow that. Children can do better than that. Children fall in line better than adults do. And it's like, and we can't even do that as a simple human being in our church.
I think it's a problem. We don't. That's another I think big problem. The division within the church.
Yeah,
And it is a lot of it's because of denominational division.
it totally is.
And I think, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with, oh, I'm associated with a certain denomination. It's not inherently wrong.
No, it's not.
But the problem is when you let it divide you.
Yeah.
And
When you identify
yeah,
as your
yeah.
church denomination versus, hey, I'm a follower of Christ. Because it's hard because Christian is such a loose term nowadays that when people say, yo, yeah, I'm a Christian, I actually don't take it to heart anymore. Because I've heard it from so many people that I went to high school with, people I go to the gym, everyday people are like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. And then they pull out a joint and start smoking weed. Or like, hey, yeah, I'm a Christian, but I'm currently living with my girlfriend who's pregnant right now. I'm like, whoa, like you just threw that at me. And it's like,
Doesn't
okay,
mean much at that point.
yeah, it's like, all right, well, what is the term then? People are so loose. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to church on Easter and Christmas. Um, I, I think a Christian's a little bit more than that. You know, what is your? Of course, Jesus really cares about is our heart.
Yeah.
It's not about your church attendance. It's not about, how many times you prayed that day. It's like, where is your heart truly at with the Lord? Are you diving deep one-on-one with God and His Word? Are you praying by yourself one-on-one in that deep prayer where it's like, Lord, mold and shape my heart. Really change me. And
Yeah.
that's what Christianity is about, is that you are changing your old lifestyle. You're sacrificing it because you are giving up your flesh to follow your spirit, which God gave you that spirit. You are following Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because anybody can give into their flesh. An animal does that. That's how easy it is. We can give into our flesh like that. It takes self-control to say no to your flesh and say yes to Jesus. That's where true self-control, which is one of the fruits of the Spirit too, and why it's so important as a true Christian that we really embody and live out the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yes, we're saved by grace. I mean, you accept Jesus, but you need to continue in that relationship. It's not one and done.
Yeah, it's not like a baptism at 14 and I'm
Yeah.
saved, we're done.
You're gonna mess up
Yeah,
along the way,
of course.
and we're human. We get pulled away by the flesh, but it's that coming back and that
Yes.
staying in communion with the Lord. And it's like you're trying to walk towards God, and you're not walking away from Him.
Exactly.
If you're the type of person that's like, hey, I accepted Jesus, I can just walk away and leave that. That's not what being a Christian is.
I've had conversations with people saying, I'm saved because I got baptized when I was 14 or 15 at a Bible camp. I'm like, well, that's great. I'm love that you got baptized. But that was 20 years ago. You're 35 now. Where are you at now with Jesus?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I haven't gone to church in 10 years. When's the last time you read the Bible? You prayed. What kind of music are you listening to? What are you watching and saying out of your mouth? It's like, well, the thing about that is you have to, like you said, embody it and live it every day. And the thing is, every single one of our paths, no path is going to be straight and narrow. Like, it's not going to be that easy.
No.
It's going to be windy. It's going to be turny. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be thorns in the way. There's going to be trees that you're going to have to go around, stuff you're going to have to move. No path of us on earth is going to be easy. It's not easy to be a Christian.
No.
And that's one thing we want to tell people, and people that we do interact on U of M, is they really do think we're trying to come on our high horse and be better than them.
No.
And it's like, no, like, I really am not better than you guys. I am equal to you in rights and importance and love from God and from others. But like, no, I am just as bad of a sinner as you. I'm just as bad as you.
Yeah.
Like,
We
I'm
tell
actively
people
trying to
that.
walk my faith, and I know you're not, but that doesn't even make me better though. Because I'm trying to act like there's no barometer.
I feel like a lot of times these students that we talk to that disagree with us, they think we're putting ourselves on a pedestal.
And we really aren't. There's some people do that. That's not good. That's not the real Christian way.
No.
But that's not where we're coming from.
I mean, we had the article written about us, and the girl. I mean, we had this article, and the girl, one of the girls that was quoted in that, I think she said something along the lines of like
that
they put themselves at the moral high ground
because
or
we are the ones out there tabling and having the signs first. So we get first say, is what she said.
So, and something along the lines of like, well, they're saying, they're for life and they're promoting life, but you people are promoting murder, and that's not our message, man.
No,
I mean, it's true that it's true, but that's what we're promoting, the truth, and we're sharing the truth with people. But we're not coming at it with condemnation. We're sharing the truth in love, and
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that's our goal, like, because that's how I think we can reach people the best. It's
Hmm.
not a condemnation where we're coming down on people being
Yeah,
condescending.
and I could understand what they're
Hmm.
saying about since we get first bold statement say, which we
Yeah,
do because we're there first and
yeah,
we're giving out our saying. So they have to come up from their heart saying, I see that, I don't agree with it. I have to come up and defend it now. So when you are defending something, it's in your mind, you're almost second party because now
hmm,
that you're the defendant, you have to make a case, you have to like defend yourself and come up with a valid point to destroy the claim. So I can see where they're coming with that. But at the same time, like we are more versed on it, so because we do our research. But when they
hmm,
come, and sometimes they come up on their high horse, like they are like loud and proud, and
yeah,
literally do say that they're better than us, which we've had people say to us, and they don't know anything about their side. It's like we do our stats for our own knowledge, but we have to look up what not your enemy, but people who disagree with you, you have to do your knowledge on them as well.
hmm,
Because if you didn't know the other side's talking points, that's actually not being a good debater at all. And it's not being a good conversationalist. Like, if you're going to be talking to someone, you should know their background on what they believe because you have
hmm,
to know their points. And that's how you interact and connect with people, is get to know their beliefs and what they are kind of for. But they don't even know. Not even about our stuff, but they don't know their own. Like,
no,
hey, you believe in abortion? She's like, oh yeah, I'm all for it. How many abortions last year in America alone? And she has no idea.
I
Oh,
don't know.
30,000, 40,000. I was like, yeah, that's just in California. But no, try 1,038,000. And she's like, nah, that's not true. There's no way. Where are you getting this from?
Hmm,
CDC, World
hmm,
Health Organization, National Institute of Health. And then they're like, well, okay, whatever. And then, so the more stats you tell them about their side, that's where they get more defensive and mean and like,
hmm,
yeah,
yeah,
they don't want to believe. And that's the hard stuff about truth, is that if it actually is true and there's stats and a lot of proof to back it up, people are just gonna, some people are gonna just choose to ignore the truth to remain right in their own mind.
yeah.
It's selfish and it's also a narcissist behavior. But
And I honestly, I won't fault most of the people we talk to don't change their mind
yeah,
at the time, and I won't fault someone for that because that's a human thing.
it is. It's stubborn in our own way, of course. I mean,
I think almost all of us as humans
oh
would
yeah,
have a hard time
of course.
conceding on a position in like in the heat of the moment. And
Yeah.
I think the impact comes in later. And it's when you plant a seed during that conversation. Maybe you say a statement about, when life starts and how, you know, babies in the womb are valuable. And maybe you say something that strikes a chord with someone later and they're in the middle of the night like, huh, maybe that person had a point. Like
Yeah.
consciousness is not a good defining factor of whether someone's a human or not.
It's yeah.
And and maybe they're thinking about that later and they're like, huh. And that's where it comes in, where it gets someone thinking. Maybe they even do more of their own research. And then they come to a different conclusion, hopefully a better conclusion, that we should value all humans in the womb and out of the womb. And I think that it's those seeds that we can plant.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I feel like I haven't truly counted, but we have changed about 6 to 8 people. A couple guys, we changed our minds, but the majority has been women. Out of the people that we have switched their complete belief on abortion. So at least praise the Lord on that. That we have made an impact.
mm-hmm,
We have changed
yeah,
young women's minds, and
yeah,
they've come up to us and say like, yeah, you guys, what you did changed our mind. Or people that were actually there that stopped for that 20 minutes. I remember back in early November, that one girl, she stood by, she gave her talking points. She even had the notepad out,
yeah,
taking notes. And so then other people who really strongly disagreed with us, she listened for an hour.
mm-hmm,
She skipped class, she listened for an hour to hear both sides. And
yeah,
after they left, then she came back, you know, after listening, she's like, "Hey, you two changed my mind."
yeah.
Like,
I do remember that.
And that was like, wow, that was such a just, even after what we just went through the last hour of all that screaming and hate, I totally forgot all about it because we won. We got us like a person to believe that abortion is wrong, and we
Dude, that's why
got
we're out
her to
there.
change her mind and to really believe in life, which is the greatest gift that God has given us,
Yeah.
is life.
Yeah.
Nothing else. The greatest gift in general was Jesus dying on the cross, but he only did that because we are living, because we have life, you know?
Yeah.
So the
And
greatest gift that
yeah.
we have right now is life. And we better be grateful for it. And don't take it for granted, and that's why we shouldn't be speaking for other people about who gets a life and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So when they really say my body, my choice, it's really demonic to say that. Because Jesus talks about, I gave up my body so that you could have the choice to either believe in me or not. But I gave up my body so that you guys can have eternal life. And how selfish of we, that humans took that phrase, my body, my choice, and made it selfish and about us. And
It's a great
like
point.
we also know that it's not just my body. Like these girls, and that's why they go at it with such an emotional aspect, is that if you just say to these women that it's just your body, like the thing that's growing in you is actually part of you. It's connected to you, absolutely. It shares DNA with you. You're giving it nutrients. Yes,
I mean,
you're.
it's different DNA. It's
It's
like,
different
yeah.
DNA, but you still are splitting it, yeah. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's a little bit more than just your body. It's obviously a separate
It's
being,
another body, yeah.
which they have agreed with us. They're like, yes, it's a separate being, but again, it's tied to the mother. It's like, yeah, but it's a separate being. So it's more than just your body. It's in your
Mm-hmm.
body temporarily because that's where that holding place is. It's basically a home for just a premature baby until it's fully grown and it's ready to come out and be a baby into
Yeah.
this world. But that
It's a
place, that
natural.
destination, is not the importance of value. And you always say that when you bring up is that why does the destination of
The
where that
location.
child and the location of the child, like why does that determine its value?
Yeah. Why does
Why,
the location
yeah,
determine
and
the
why does
value,
the
right?
development of the baby
The
really
stage of
determine?
development, yeah. It's like it's really that's what the whole abortion argument is.
It
It's
is.
placing parameters on who's a human, who's not, who's a human worthy of life, who's not. Because what you'll see is people will take steps back as you go with them, and they'll change the goalpost. They'll start by saying, "Oh, it's when they're able to live without the mother." And then when you expose that and say, well, an infant's not able to live without the mother, they'll move it to say, well, they're not conscious yet. So they'll continue moving it and they'll change the parameters. And each of these parameters they place, its stage of development, its location, size, all of these different things that they'll place on them, level of brain activity, their consciousness. They're all these different parameters and they conveniently exclude humans in the womb from having a right to life.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
conveniently chosen to specifically fit a certain type of human, which is, we've seen this pattern throughout history. I mean, we've brought this up to people a few times. They don't like it. You know what I'm going to say? It's the slavery
Yeah,
part. They do not like it when we bring up slavery, but you can see the parallel.
it is. It's
No.
it's connected. It's the same. It's different happenings in history, but the example of it is you're looking down upon a certain race, gender, people. It's like you're looking down at them as not human.
Yeah.
And whites back then in the 1860s looked at black people and said, you are not human. You are acting like one. You might have the capabilities of being one, but they're like, nah, you're not human. Which why they wouldn't even call him a human person. They give him all these other racist terms. And it's the same thing, but in a different form and a
Yeah.
different way because that's how the evilness of this world works. The devil's got history always is going to repeat itself. And we're seeing it again. We saw it 80 years later after the Civil War, the Holocaust. The same thing. What did the Germans do? They said Jews are not human. They're a lesser people, a lesser race.
Yeah.
And genocides have happened with all sorts of people, all sorts of cultures, skin colors, and it's like, well, it's the same thing.
It
You
is.
you call them not a human, so then by calling them that, you're gonna treat them different. Like, and you then of course you're kind of like brainwashing your own people to really believe that, and to really affirm it and be like, hey, that person really is not human. And you start treating them differently because you're treating them as not a human. And just same thing with these babies, which is the most innocent thing.
Yeah.
They
Most
they
vulnerable.
they didn't
Yeah.
ask to be here. We're the ones creating them, adults.
Yeah, that's another
You're
thing.
consenting to sex. You're consenting to a baby.
The responsibility.
That's the sex culture that's really just gross in America, is that they're hooking up with anybody and everybody, and you're taking away responsibility. Yes, sex is given to us by God as a way to procreate. The number one reason, really, is to procreate and
Yeah.
to give next generations. But he gave it as a form of pleasure too, in marriage. That's why God truly blesses a marriage and sex when you are doing it the right way. God wants to bless good marriages under him, and when you follow his directions, then you realize that it's actually in a good place.
Yeah.
And I brought up to you that fireplace analogy, is that when a fire is controlled and in the right spot in a house or outside in a burn pit, or having a bonfire, when it's controlled, a fire is not dangerous.
It's great.
It creates warmth.
Yeah.
It brings like a light to the room. It brings like a calming, like, oh man, let's put on a fire and sit around the campfire and
Brings
just,
pleasure.
yeah, it brings pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we were to have this fire started in this living room on a rug, what's gonna happen to this place? It's gonna go up in flames, and it's gonna be burned down, and it's gonna be damaged, and it's gonna be destroying. It's the same thing with sex. When you use sex the right way, it's not gonna be damaging, and only good can come from it. You get close with your wife. That's only the reason you can really become truly one flesh with your wife. You say I do, yes, but you really consecrate that marriage through sex. That's when you two really become one flesh, one love, basically two hearts coming together. A man and a woman become one flesh with sex. And with that sex comes pleasure, because God wants us to enjoy and have pleasure in this life. But then you get a beautiful child from it too.
Yeah.
And when
God
it's-
created it beautifully.
Exactly. But when we use it wrong, look what happens. America is the most perfect example of what happens when you abuse sex. It's in every movie. People are coming from all these fathers and mothers that just hooked up with people, and they end up not having a mother or a father, and it breaks up a family home because there's no family to even start with. But it all started because you abused sex. Same thing with rape.
Yeah.
When you abuse sex, you hurt people, and you end up hurting women, and you almost put this negative part of sex on them, and you destroy and break down women. That's not what we're supposed to do. Sex is supposed to be pure and be safe for men and women, especially the woman. She's supposed to be feeling safe.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
should be
our duty
safety.
as men to step up and say, no, like, I feel in my like flesh that I want to give into this temptation, but that's where we use self-control and other fruits of the spirit to be like, no, we have to wait. We can't do this. We can't give into our flesh.
It's another problem in the Christian church. I think
It is, yeah.
That I mean, we don't talk about, the
I
problem
mean,
of men struggling
yeah.
with lust enough.
Oh my gosh. I mean, every man struggles with lust.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We all get tempted because that's our desire, our biological trait, which a lot of people say that, biologically men, we've had a lot of debates about biological stuff. But yes, men are biologically supposed to be attracted to women, to want to procreate with women. But with that, we're supposed to use self-control, love, patience, gentleness, because we have to use all that with women. And also, remember just to put God first. With God at the center of your relationship, nothing can go wrong.
Don't glorify the sex.
It
right?
shouldn't be.
Like
It should be going right. There's going to be opposite. Yeah, sure. Things are going to go bad, but ultimately, it's going to be good. I mean, again, our sex culture. It all starts with sex. In America, and that's where we're going wrong. And the church needs to talk about it more. I really believe, and I feel like I'm going on a rant about it, but it's just true.
It's good.
Like, me and you took a whole class all of last year, 2024, We took on a class called Unmasked. We did it for a whole year. It was like a 10-month little class that we did
It
about.
took us longer than it should have, honestly, though. But
It did,
it
but
doesn't need to take a year, but
yeah, it should have been like a 4-month thing, but yeah, we met up. We had 10 or 11 men in our church, and it was all about the responsibilities of man and sex and culture. And a lot of it was about sex, as it should be, because it really hones in on how important it really is and how destructive men can be with sex and what you can do to women, like how you can break them, how you can tear them down and ruin. You can almost ruin a whole woman's life for the rest of her life because some women cannot come out of it. They can with the healing of Jesus and with good therapy and love and people, but not everyone gets that. But again, it starts with the men. We have to step up.
yeah,
We've got
100%. Yeah, you know what? That's one thing for just our country as a whole. Bring masculinity back, strong men.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Let's bring strong men back, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is the amount of people saying, "Why are two men fight like standing against abortion?" And it's like strong men stand up for the innocent,
That's right.
and that's what we're doing.
No uterus, no opinion. We've gotten that countless
Yeah.
times.
And that's where I actually saw something the other day. All you gotta say is no penis, no opinion.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a baby without a penis too.
Yeah, it's like I know like you guys are more important with the baby process because they rely on you more. I
Oh,
understand
you need
that.
both, yeah.
I know that, it grows in you, you have to give birth, and you end up feeding it for a year and really taking care of it. I understand that. But it's more than just your baby. And it's more than just my baby. It's its own being too. Like we are here together as man and woman to support and to come together. And, people have asked us about equality too, about, are men more important than women? No. We are equally important through God. Are we equal in our capabilities as men and women? No. I can't do stuff that women can do, but women can't do stuff that I can do as a man. Like, your average day man is going to be stronger than your average day woman.
Yeah.
And that's just the biological stuff. That's just how we're made. There's nothing wrong with it. And the beautiness of being a masculine guy and just being a man in general is the want to provide and protect their own nature. And then women, it's the want to nurture, to want to talk about things, get really deep, to connect with people. Women are so good at that. Men, and we need that from women because men need to open up more. We need to be better at communication, connecting people, nurturing, having a softer heart towards people. A lot of times, like, if men are just like, like, that's not a big deal. The wife's gonna be like, actually it is. Like, maybe you should change that behavior. Because you were, like, checking your man. You're putting your husband in check, like, what you did was wrong.
We complement each other. And that's how
a
God
good
created
balance.
it.
Exactly.
That's how God created it.
It's when a masculine man and a feminine woman, it's two halves that are perfect to come and make a whole. We complete each other. Masculine is great. Feminine is great. When we come together, it creates perfect unity. It can't be broken. When the roles are so designed to be perfect, and when we use it perfect, and are actually in our, we use our roles correctly, it's such a good balance.
Yeah.
It's such a good use in the home and in everyday life.
Dude, I mean, it's a huge thing right now. The culture is trying to blur the lines between masculinity and femininity, and it's like, let's embrace womanhood. Let's embrace manhood. Let's come on.
What happened
lean
to
into
tomboys?
it.
Remember them? Like, we had tomboys growing up. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Because they were more masculine in like what they did, and they were more rough and wanted to play and play sports.
That's a
and
whole
whatever.
that's a whole other thing.
But
Now they have to be the other gender.
Oh yeah, now it's like
no.
nowadays in 2025, we're not seeing tomboys anymore. Like it just completely changed.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna become a man. She's
That's
a man
whole
now.
Other,
It's like, no, because what happened was 90% of that time, or even more, that tomboy got out of that phase, and she grew up to be a very feminine, beautiful woman.
And which it's fine. Like if you're a woman, you can like guns and hunting and
course you
fishing
can.
and stuff. And it's like you're not a man because
Yeah,
of
you're not a
that.
man if you like to do with men's stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make you a guy. That doesn't make you more or less of a woman. No.
Yeah, no, and that's not,
And they want to confuse that, especially on us, because they're like, oh, well, does that mean hunting is just for men? No.
No.
More men tend to hunt.
Yes.
Yes, because it's more of a masculine thing. But that doesn't mean that it's strictly just for men and that defines you as a man. No.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the reason for some of these things, like why women traditionally more so stay home and stay with the kids and the man goes out and works, it's because biologically God wired us
Yeah.
as a man, you are called to go provide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, what God called men to. And for women, I mean, they're nurturers, like you said, and so they nurture the children, and they're better equipped to take care of them.
Yeah.
And so God gave us these strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Let's lean into them, as a culture,
Yeah.
and I mean, get back to, this is beautiful what God created, and not blur the lines.
Mm-hmm. We need to, it's not do we need to get back to old American traditional values? No. We need to get back to values.
Well,
in general.
I mean, yeah, traditional values aren't
Traditional,
necessarily
yes,
a bad thing,
but not like the Americanized. Like we need to just get it back to
Yeah.
just values of what the Bible
what
wants.
biblical value? Yeah,
Just biblical values.
values.
We just need
Yeah.
to get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing to say that women need to be in the home. Like, no, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that through certain families, the roles, how we interact, if you can't be a stay-at-home mom or dad, and both parties have to work, that's just how life's going to be. There's nothing wrong with that. And guess
But
what?
it is a beautiful thing.
It is. Like, if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, that's a career. Like, we're not saying that if people choose to stay home with their kids and take care of it, that's a career. Like, it's in itself. You're a stay-at-home parent. You are working with your children. Could be homeschooling them, feeding them every day, household chores, outside stuff you're going to be doing. Like, that's just as much as a career as the person that's going to be providing, protecting outside of the home, too.
And it's like what's really fulfilling too, like having that career and being really successful, being a really successful businesswoman or whatever it is, and in your 40s, it's like you don't have the family, you don't have, that whole aspect where you were building this thing. If you were a stay-at-home mom, you're able to build this thing and build relationships with your kids and be able to raise these kids to be godly people. And that's a beautiful thing. That's how God created us. There's a natural, the nuclear family. I do think I think as America we do need to get back to that more.
We do.
And I agree with you. It's not like oh,
the
every woman needs to stay.
Dad style where he was abusive in the home. We're like, no, we're not
but
even talking about
and it's
that.
not saying that every woman needs to stay home and not work. Obviously they can, but I'm just saying, there's something beautiful and there is something to the nuclear family and
If we
and traditional values.
Yeah, and if we really looked at, when we're stats people, if we looked at the stats of the American homes back then of all races too, not just like white people or black people, like if we looked at every culture, if we looked at which ones were the most successful, it was where the dad worked, could be 10, 12-hour, 14-hour days, and the mom stayed at home, homeschooling kids, sending them to school, but being a housewife, being a great mother, and the dad being a great father and provider and husband for his wife and also his children. That system was the most successful. Literally was.
That's how you raise great people
That
are gonna
You look at our
raise more
grandparents'
great
generation, that was a more successful, wholesome generation. Less divorces, less abusive homes, less people leaving their homes too. And now, because both parties are working, both parties don't care about their roles, it's a lot of men and women's faults. We are not taking on our roles. We don't care at all. We're careless. Look where we're at.
broken families.
We have so much broken families. We have more people that are going to be unmarried than married. That's just what the stats show. That's what people are almost destined to be. It's like our generation of men right now, Gen Z, are scared of getting married.
Yeah,
It's literally saying like 1 in 5 men are gonna want to get married by 25. The other 4 are either like, hey, I'm gonna wait till 30 or 35, and that was done through a survey. Because they're either scared or like, hey, why even get married? Because 60% of American white family, especially our race, that we were gonna talk about it, like are ending in divorces right now. So it's like, why even attempt to get married?
Yeah.
And it's
horrible.
just as much in the church. This is not even like a non-Christian. This is just as much in the Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the same numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing over 50% of Christian marriages that should have been devoted for God, a man and a husband, or a man and a woman coming together, and like,
don't let that culture seep
I
into you,
know.
brother.
It's like what we're seeing is the same stats. You know, it's just as much.
Yeah.
People are breaking families, are getting divorced left and right.
Yeah.
Affairs, it's the same numbers.
Gosh, yeah.
It's unbelievable how much cheating and scandalous and lying there is.
And what is marriage supposed to be? It's supposed to be an example of Christ and his church.
Exactly.
And
That's the only covenant that Christ compares us marrying the bride, is that he's comparing himself to the church. That's the only way
Of
he's
course,
compared.
what does the devil want to do?
Yeah, he wants
Twist
to
that.
twist it, break it. Because if he breaks us and he
Yeah.
breaks the traditional family, then it breaks biblical values and we end up not being Christians.
Yeah.
It all starts with love and the beginnings of being man and the woman. If
Yeah.
you break that part before it even happens, it's going to be a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
We have to get back to really getting into, all right, I'm going to be devoted to you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have arguments in our marriage. Just I say to my wife, like, if we were going to get married and like, hey, we're going to have hardships, we're going to argue, but at the end of the day, before our heads hit the pillows, like, we have to reconcile, confess, say I'm sorry. You know,
Just to be clear, you're talking about your wife, not me, right?
yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's why I said my wife. I was like,
No,
if you're going to go get
no, I was
married,
joking
like,
because you were like, if we were gonna get married.
yeah, I meant as in a hypothetical woman that's sitting over here, but no, it's,
I'm kidding.
yeah, it's, you know, the arguments
Mm-hmm.
before you go into bed, like, should be resolved, and that's a big thing. It
Yeah,
really
like
is.
don't let your head hit the pillow before you.
Yeah, like, and with money and with issues, and when you say I do, and God really, really is, like, he really honors vows.
Mm-hmm.
As a husband and a wife. Like, if you are gonna vow yourself to that person, you better stay true to it. You better honor it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are vowing yourself as a man to that woman the same as Christ does to the church. So you better take a good care of that. You better make it the most important priority. Because the thing is, your marriage should come first before your children. And some people are gonna be like,
That's a problem.
what?
In the church?
How in the world could you say that about, like, your kids are like the most important? No, they're actually not. They're second to your wife, second to your spouse in general. Your spouse should always come first, because if the spouse in that relationship dies, the whole family dies.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
I think that's a big problem today.
It is.
too.
People
Yeah.
literally are so focused on the kids, which you're going to have to be. If you have like 5 or 6 kids, of course, you're not going to really notice the husband or your wife as much, because you're so focused on raising your kids and you're focused on them, which that's going to happen, and it should be that way for a while. But you kind of have to come at the end of the day or find a time and be like, hey, like, I need to get back to my wife or husband. Like, I got to get reconnected with them. Like, I can't forget them, because when people become empty nesters and they look at like their spouse, they're like, who are you? Like, we just raised 4 kids. It's been mayhem the last 20 years. And all of a sudden, all the kids are out of the house. And it's like, oh, I don't even know you. It's like we have to relearn each other as spouse.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, you should be learning and growing together this whole time. It's not going to be easy. I don't even know what it's like to be a parent.
No.
But I can tell from outside or in, like, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Marriage is not easy. It takes a lot of work. But if you're going to vow yourself and be like, hey, I am going to love you till the day I die, until you die, like, I'm going to honor and protect you, you got to take it serious.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's like we're not married, so obviously people should take our advice with a grain of salt. But I think it's pretty straightforward that
Yeah, what we're saying is true.
if it's grounded in the Bible, which the comparison to Christ and His church
Exactly.
is the example we're called to look to, and it's pretty straightforward whether we're married or not. I guess it
It's
doesn't matter as long as we're teaching that it's the Bible.
yeah,
It's like That is our guide. And
your children are important because they come from you, and what you teach them is very important. But you didn't create a covenant with your children. They come from you,
yeah,
but your covenant is with your spouse.
I think you said something that was really important there, that because we made the parallel to Christ and his church.
Yeah.
You said God is a promise keeper, or he keeps his vows.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things
true.
we need to embrace in that example relationship we have with Christ and or the example that in humanity we have of marriage, of Christ and his church. We need to embrace that promise keeping aspect of God's nature.
Because he's not going to break his promise.
No,
and we definitely cannot break that, because we're making the same promise he's making about Christ and the church. If I'm making that promise to my wife, I better keep it till the day I die. Like, you better, because it's that important. It's the only covenant that we as people are going to be doing in our life. Like, the circumcision covenant, that's been broken. Like, all this other covenants. Like, the only covenant that we are actually going to be doing one to another is marriage. And when you break that, or are so inconsistent, and you're not even honoring it, what are you doing? Like, you're not a man.
It dishonors God.
It dishonors God. It breaks his heart. Like, and that's why I have so much brokenness. So we have to, when you make that honor and that covenant to your spouse, honor it wholeheartedly.
Gosh, so to sum it up, I feel like our issues are the blurring of masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
Taking those away, and we need to bring back, I think masculinity especially has been suppressed. We need to bring back the family, and we need to stop giving into the culture.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I think those are the big things. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else, but I feel like...
Hey, my grandma always said it best. She goes, would you rather stand with God and be judged by the world, or stand with the world and be judged by God? And so it's a deep question, because a lot of times we end up choosing the world over God. And it's like every single one of us has chosen the world over God. And we're going to do it again. And so that's where we have to constantly, with discernment, of saying no and moving on from that and going to good and coming back to values and coming back to Jesus. And be like, you know what, Lord, I choose you, I want you, and I want it every day. I got to be in your word every day, praying. I got to be acting out. I got to really be basically acting like a Christian every day. Like, you should be more than just acting. You got to be living it.
Walk the walk, man.
Walk the walk. You're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. Simple.
Amen, dude. Let's pursue the Lord.
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, end it off. I mean, first episode, I thought it was pretty good.
That concludes episode 1.
Episode 1 in the books.